Hello guys, welcome back to FACEIT TV. It's time for the last best of 3 of tonight. It's going to be another semi-final match here for FACEIT Stage 3, the European qualifiers, and it's going to be an interesting one. We've got eFrag, they are up against Kinguin, and you never know what to expect with Kinguin. They have a lot of individual skill. They're always fun to watch because of that.
Yeah.
You see big plays from these guys, big players, but of course team play has been the issue for them. Strategy has been the issue. How does the calling work? Language issues. They've had a lot. They've been dealing with a lot of issues. So that's another interesting thing about watching them, as well as looking at eFrag. They're a team which is actually the opposite, the complete polar opposite, I suppose.
Yeah, basically a very tight-knitted core group that focuses on that's their bread and butter for team play.
Yeah. It's really interesting, actually, and so it's going to be a cool match to watch.
Now we're going to see which one prevails.
Yep. Train, Mirage, and Cash is the series we are going to be witnessing. And, well, we had a 2-1 just now. It looked like it was going to be a 2-0, but we were surprised. I wonder how this one's going to go. Train, where would you start with Train?
Train, I simply haven't seen enough of eFrag on Train to feel like I should be confident in them going in, and especially with Kinguin actually picking the map, I feel like that should be an indication of Kinguin being favored to take this.
I actually have a really good feeling about eFrag on Train. I think when we were in Kiev, I seem to remember NKL talking about Train as if they were looking to Train as a map that they
wanted to play?
Yeah, like they wanted to play that they wanted to get themselves up together on, that they wanted to put a lot of focus on. So I think it might be a bit of a sleeper map for them.
I could very well be, but that's the thing, like they could very well have been practicing it. Obviously that's very hard for us to know, and I would have assumed that because whenever we've spoken to NKL or Bubble or who it may be on the team, they always say that we play every map. Like we want to be good on every map because we don't want to have any,
glaring weaknesses.
And exactly, that's the thing. So yeah, what you're saying could definitely be coming into play, but we haven't really gotten to see them play versus top tier opponents on Train yet. But we have seen them play on both Cash and Mirage versus very good opponents. Hell, we even saw them play Mirage yesterday, and that looked very promising on their end.
The cool thing for me as well is that with eFrag, they could very well have a very well-prepared Train, and I've got a feeling they might as we go into the pistol. But the last point I'll make about this is that a lot of the time they go on how they feel they're playing on a certain map against a certain team, and it's ended up on Dust 2 there a lot recently, so they may just never have gotten around to being in a position where it felt good to play Train, when Dust 2 felt so good.
So much better, yeah.
So that's also another interesting thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, going with what you know instead of what you, risking it and going into something unknown.
Well, this is certainly a good start. Viktor kicks it off with a double, and Gamer will finish off Maikelele. So Dennis on 1 HP is going to be finished off by Viktor as well. He's got himself 3 kills. It's not a good start here for Kinguin, I've got to say.
And well, we highlight it every time we see eFrag play. It's Viktor and Dreamer are the 2 big profiles right there. But yesterday we saw spyleadeR and Bubble and NKL, but pretty much everyone on that team played very well versus Peter.
Yeah.
But right now it seems like it's business as usual for Viktor and Dreamer.
Okay, so now it's going to be a good start for eFrag's economy, but Kinguin, you would definitely expect a force buy out of them. To be honest, they're one of the teams where I would say that they should do it in all the spots where theoretically, from an economic standpoint, I would say you shouldn't do it. Mostly just because I feel like it goes to it speaks to their edges much more than it speaks to than let's say them just playing normal buy rounds, and also by that notion, them being able to put constant pressure on and have more weapons more of the time feels like a naturally good thing for a team like Kinguin, and they are going to go for the force.
Already going to get picked off though, so good stuff for eFrag. They can kind of simmer down. They don't need to push me on this, but they are, and NKL finds Maikelele as well. So already this force buy is going down the drain for eFrag. Now we're going to see Kinguin, obviously.
That was a great grenade there from Bubble. He's doing some damage so far, and yes, it is a very, very appalling force buy so far.
This is kind of cool. eFrag just pushed that quickly after getting that first frag, and then they just stopped. Now they just put up a firing range on every lane of the map.
I actually love that as well.
That's really cool.
It's just like, try us. Come and try us.
Yeah.
He'd walk out just to see what's going on. He gets shot by 4 guys. Like, what? Like, what do you do in this situation? I'm not ready for this. I'm not trained for this. Okay, well, I love this. This is the reason why, I guess, yeah, Vendetta and myself really like watching eFrag, is because you see some of these cool team play things where you see very like level-headedness, where they put the team ahead of the individual. Because there's spots here where the individual can always break away from the main group and say, I'm going to go and get some frags.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and do this. But instead it's more about them saying, we are one. We are one unit.
A band of brothers.
Yes, they are. The band of brothers.
So
I need to watch that series.
I haven't seen it. It's
Not
so
seen it.
good.
I really need to watch that series.
Okay, I guess you're not sleeping tonight. Okay, so I guess one saving grace for Kinguin is that Rain does survive with this 5/7 and armor. So he will be able to potentially do some more damage in this round, but obviously this should be an eFrag round once again.
So nice little boost there, but how much really will it amount to is the question. So far it is limited in the way of its damage output. Rain's going for the push from inner to see if he can get something happening, but all he's going to do is get information for his team. And here comes the main push from eFrag up Ali, and again they move as a unit. There are players dotted all over these trains in the yard, and it's actually paying off in the initial push for Kinguin, but now they're starting to falter. Although Maikelele with a timely push will take down the bomber, and that bomb though it is going to be planted regardless. And without a kit, there is certainly limited hope here in getting the defuse. And we will see Rain with the Galil in hand as well. So he's going to go for the clutch. He's going to be fast, takes down another player. They're all peeking. This is really troublesome at the moment. He's going to go for this full. I mean, this is hard. No kit to play with. Bubble should be able to make this happen. The bomb is too far gone. There's not much he can do. So a lot of damage by Kinguin here, which is pretty good.
Yeah, surprised actually they got that much done. But
look at the save here for Rain. That's sick as well. It's smoke and the Kevlar helmet and the AK.
Yeah.
And the 5/7, which he can drop if he wants.
He's actually yet to dodge because he saved it in the pistol round as well.
That's
where
cool.
That's where he saved this first Kevlar to get a cheaper head Kevlar.
Oh,
so
wow,
yeah, he's just saving money all over the place. So yeah. That's, yeah, a positive sign for Kinguin, I guess, but still, eFrag with 3 rounds on the board early on the T side. I think the biggest mistake, I guess, if you could call it that, from eFrag that round was the fact that they got so clumped up when they ran out of alley that they hadn't really cleared out anything else. Similar to, you know, unlike what they did in the anti-eco before that.
So well, they did win the round, though, with the bomb explosions. That's a 3,500 reward for them instead of the 3,250. Extra little bit of cash. Now they will take it slow once again. Again, eFrag, a team notorious for their proficiency in tight, coordinated, and most of the time unorthodox T-strats. You would expect Train to be a great map for them. But these positions from Kinguin, these shots from Rain and Maikelele are certainly more than up to the task to eliminate this push, and they have done just that. Everybody's dead. Didn't look like there was any question, any hesitation at all. And eFrag have lost a round.
Weirdly enough, that round from eFrag more or less looked like they were just walking into it.
Yeah.
Even after Maikelele gets the first frag, there wasn't any sense of urgency. There wasn't a lot of nades thrown down everywhere. They just kind of went out and accepted their fate.
It was like just looking at Dren's POV the entire last game, basically.
More or less.
Too easy, like he's shooting bots. Okay, so Kinguin now, they need to keep things going, they need to keep this rolling. There's Fox standing large and in charge on top of the train, going to get the opener for his team, and now this push is really faltering, is actually falling apart at the seams, and spyleadeR, that flash was perfect, and is he going to be able to actually get himself through to more frags? It's happening! NKL battles back, takes down Fox, spyleadeR finds an opening on Dennis, and now we've got ourselves a 2-on-2. The head of Scream has been discovered, and spyleadeR uses a fast shot. He gets the kill onto Rain. He knows.
He has a nade. He has a nade.
Is he going to be using it in time? He's got. He's got a minute to play with, so he's got an excellent situation going from at the moment.
So he's going to go for the inner sight.
This is very interesting indeed. He's trying to work his way around. Doesn't know where Scream is at the moment. And he's going...
Oh, he's going back.
He's going back in towards the A site indeed. Scream's going to come dropping in from Pop Dog. This will be tough for Scream to make this work. He needs to get the drop onto spyleadeR. He needs to get the first shots. And he might be able to do it. He's by electric box. Will we get the peak? He can see the bomb. Oh, he's going to find the shots. Of course he will. He's Scream. And spyleadeR had no idea. Scream came out at the perfect time, out of the perfect angle. And, well, it's the perfect player for the job as well.
Heartbreaking for spyleadeR, though, because he tagged up Scream as well. And he was about to throw the nade or the bomb train.
Yeah.
And then he thought, you know, thought another second for it. Got the second frag instead, and oof, that was so close from being another round for eFrag. But they got the bomb plant, so force spy time it is.
Yeah, I mean, Kinguin, they lost everyone but Scream, so they are really hard pressed for cash too, especially with the double ult buy.
Yeah, they've actually gone for double op buy, so lack of needs going on, but they can make up for it in firepower. And already Maikelele showing up in higher, and well, so far so good for Kinguin right now. Dennis just having a field day out in yard, and NKL all of a sudden a lone ranger for the Bulgarian side.
Yeah, this must be the most frustrating thing when you're playing Kinguin, is that they can absolutely erupt, just hitting every crazy shot you throw at them.
Scream's gonna go down, so a bit of a consolation prize for eFrag. Right, Rain secures the ramp for Kinguin, and they're now even, all evened out. And eFrag having to eco, I was about to say, but then I remember it's eFrag. Whoa. So they're going to force buy.
Are they trying to become the new Envious? Well, the thing is here is that it looks like they're saving some money so that they can buy in the flame round, which is okay. Okay, you know, you can justify that. But at the same time, it's Train. You have to respect that it's Train, and that at best you're going to get a bomb plant on inner.
And I think that's what they're going for. So they're going to put one smoke down lower and hope that's enough. If they ever make it that far.
Oh, Maikelele and Rain were both playing so close to the inner ramp that they actually got the kill, and Dreamer has picked himself up an orb. This is now dangerous, because if Dreamer gets some kills, as he's starting to do, the economic damage is going to be severe. It's actually winnable. They're at a man advantage. Dreamer's up on top of the train, trying to look over the top. He's got 1 HP. This is ridiculous. NKL's looking for the flank as well. If Dreamer and spyleadeR, who are so low on HP, can survive, maybe, just maybe, NKL can get the drop on one of these guys.
The bomb is so slow though.
Wow, Dreamer gets a long-range shot onto Dennis. This guy has gone absolutely ham here. 3 kills, goes for the next one, misses the shot, but the bomb has been planted now on A. And Scream wants to, Fox is going to find himself in the position Scream was in, but maybe even a little bit worse. It's a 1-on-2 here with the bomb down on the A site. Now, where are these players? They could be absolutely anywhere. Fox is looking for the shots. Nice little adjustment. Does take a bit of damage there. There is the smoke on the bomb. Here we go. NKL has to go for it, and he gets the headshot. What a round there from eFrag. They managed to find the W, but it was down to the fact that Dreamer is just a monster. He's an absolute beast.
That was very unsurprising, especially because the one smoke and flash they had on spyleadeR, it took so long before it actually went down. So they got the 2 frags, and then then Kinguin got a return frag. So at that point I was thinking, oh, the smoke came in too late. Kinguin are going to clean this up, but Dreamer just putting in work with that op.
And Rain is lucky to be alive right now.
Yeah, I could tell he's just swapping out his weapons as well.
Yeah, we got some good early damage exchanges coming in from eFrag's side of the camp. Now, Kinguin, of course, are in a horrible spot, because if they lose this one, they spend everything. So if they lose this one, that would be the second one in a row. So they're down to $1,900, which means that they need to eco. And then they get $2,500 if they lose then. So not even on the money to get AWPs out. So
yeah, exactly. And already eFrag would be at 6 rounds at that point.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a pretty interesting turning point. If, of course, Kinguin cannot hold this. Let's have a look and see if that's the case. We already have the cleaner coming up onto the bomb site. Nice stuff from Scream. He gets a nice kill, but he can't prolong it. He can't delay the inevitable, that plant from going down.
There's only 2 flashes as well for Kinguin to retake the site. And Dreamer getting people through, you know, fading smokes is not going to help either.
Yeah, he's pretty good at this game. Maikelele's going to go for it though. There goes the pop flash, goes down. Really nice moves there from Maikelele. He does get taken on, unfortunately. It's good effort, and Dennis can get a consolation kill. So good economic damage put upon EFrag, but as we mentioned, Kinguin do not have money to buy here. I'm pretty sure they'd full bought. Again, they should be on 1900 now. 1900 to 2500, depending on what was left in the bank.
Yeah, they should be pretty poor, and you could say, yeah.
Okay, so they actually had a little bit of money left in the bank. So
not enough to make any difference, unfortunately for them.
Yeah.
And even though EFrag lose a ton of members, the bomb still goes off. They got plenty to, you know, to work with. So that should be pretty good for them.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nice to see if Kinguin can actually pull out some crazy kills here, because that's the stuff they're made of. They can turn rounds like this into anything. Ooh, that's a nice little chunk of damage onto Bubble there. Must have connected straight to the torso. So, EFrag going in with an aggression towards Inner. So
Did they hear that?
It's a good anti-eco play actually, going in it.
Yeah, especially that they're just they're not really having anyone go off as a stray person. So they always have the potential to to find trades if the worst case scenario is to happen.
Yeah, and we have the opener from Dreamer. Dreamer's really been keeping them in this one, I've got to say, keeping them in with the edges. They need to pull things together. And does it like Kinguin are thinking about saving potentially, or are they going to go?
They don't have that much to save. They might just want to set up for exits. And Rain's going to find one with this 5-7. But the question is, I guess EFrag aren't that confident with their money situation where it is right now, to the point where they want to chase after Kinguin, because they know Kinguin are going to be able to buy up in this upcoming round anyway. So removing an AK from them is not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true.
Well, actually, Rain has only managed to pick up a MAC-10 because that's what spyleadeR was running around with.
Oh my god.
Then it's definitely no point in actually hunting for him.
You see NKL's just sitting there on the bomb, he's just like, I'm just going to die. And he goes down. Interesting choice. Interesting choice by NKL. Okay.
Well, oh, they do actually manage to scrape out an op on Maikelele.
No Kev.
But that's a glass cannon op. So nades and just any connection to him ever made is just going to be really, really rough to deal with.
Fox goes for the aggression towards Ali. And oh no, the trades, they're not happening. That is a huge disaster. This is where you see an easy round for a team like EFrag. They're conditioned, they're well rehearsed.
You can tell
calm
already, exactly. Instead of just pushing the advantage they had in Ali, they're just like, okay guys, we got an advantage now, let's group up and do something with it.
It's really cool to see that. I really respect that kind of play. And again, actually, was it Dozier did or Adrena did that previously?
Oh, Scream's aggression, that might be not unexpected.
Okay, so
Does catch Bubble off, but I guess Bubble did his part already.
Good move by Scream, and Rain himself is going to take down Viktor. So now we have a 2 versus 3 on our hands.
Did Bubble throw a smoke towards Connector before he died?
I don't think he did. Ooh. Oh, this is going to be an interesting engagement. This is huge. Insta-kill onto Maikelele. Now that opens up things here potentially for that bomb to go down. Gives him a lot of breathing room. And spyleadeR, I don't know if he knows that there's anybody in the B yard. Oh no, what on earth? He runs into Scream. He is very surprised. And that's really awkward for Dreamer, because that leaves Dreamer in a really weird position. Because the problem with this position against in a 1-on-2 is that
the bomb is planted for it though.
Okay, now that's gonna help. This is impossible. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a weird position basically, because you're kind of stuck there. Once people know that you're there, you can't really fall back. You're very. Does he have time? I didn't realize he didn't have a kit. Oh, that's so close. Scream picks that one up. But is that the perfect round for EFrag to lose? We know that they build up a lot of money, and Kinguin they have to spend everything here. They only survive with Scream. So this could be again a point at which EFrag could pole vault into the lead.
There we go.
With a severe economic advantage if they can break Kinguin. And look at the buy on Kinguin. It's very lackluster.
It's very lackluster. 5-7 for Fox. Oh, okay, they're gonna give him an AK. So it's Maikelele on a deagle. This is definitely not the dream scenario for Kinguin. And EFrag just gunning straight out into yard, no setup or whatsoever. Trying to catch Kinguin off by surprise, and it seems to be working out pretty well. Already down to 2 members for Kinguin here, but fast rotation coming in from Rain. That might be the saving grace. is actually going to rotate off. There's no kits available on Kinguin's side.
This is interesting indeed. It's a very hard retake to go through. You have to clear a lot of positions. Now there's no time, and there's nothing to do. Great stuff there from Bubble and Viktor. They pick it up, and there you go. They get broken now. Kinguin, look at the cash. It is pretty bad. They have to just... I mean, you can if you're thinking, okay, guys, we have to double eco anyway, you can force it up here, just spend everything. That's fine, because you're going to be ecoing the next round anyway, so then it's okay.
So I'm thinking the decision. Yeah, I think the decision is that either they want ops or they're just going to force by next round because they know they're so far behind.
I think they're going for the ops.
You think so?
I think so, yeah, because
you're giving EFrag at least 8 rounds.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it feels like...
No, you're giving them 9 rounds, actually. They need 1 more eco.
But I feel like if they were going to buy, then they would have done it now, and then ecoed in the next round. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, nicely put, Kinguin are running out of options. That's pretty much the name of the game.
And one of the reasons I would say that too is because EFrag's money wasn't too good in this round. They had to spend close to everything, I think. So now they get, they're all around 2 to 3k. So it would have been a really nice round to potentially win. So now we can see their money here, and sure, they can force it here, but if they do that, they're in a very unfavorable buy, and they have that situation where maybe they could keep getting just reset consistently, and it's really awkward to deal with. This is a really hard spot.
I mean, at some point you kind of have to go off the deep end. You just have to take a leap of faith, because you can't allow EFrag to get into double figures and that type of thing.
And the crazy thing as well is that Kinguin are running into EFrag's Mirage, and if they lose this one, then we already saw yesterday how EFrag can handle teams on Mirage. They're pretty good there. So
especially with what looked like a very improved CT side.
Oh yeah, their CT side, it was
we barely got to see anything of their...
It was gangster.
Yeah. So ghetto. No, we barely got to see anything of their T side, which is supposed to be their stronger side. So that's really scary.
Interesting stuff. Okay, so got a bit of a pause going on as there was a reconnection, and Kinguin decided to go for the buy. It is a very marginal kind of call. You can, I think, you can make an argument either way. You can play a higher risk game, say we want to get back in now. We feel like we need 7 rounds to win.
I think that's what they're saying. But I think they can't allow themselves to slip out to the point where EFrag are... Well, they can't give, EFrag
it's like
9 free rounds.
Yeah, the choice is 2 things. It's either play for a more consistent chance, a higher chance to get 6 rounds on the board, or play for a riskier chance to get 7. And they feel like they need 7 against EFrag probably.
And the problem is, even if they eco this round and go for the ops, let's say a double op on Dennis and Maikelele for the next round, they still run into the issue that if they lose that round, they're going to have to double eco at that point.
Yeah.
Or that's what they probably would need, but that's not going to happen.
That is pure Scream style, coming in right there and then. But we do have also some NKL and Viktor style, but they're getting left low. 1 HP, 12 HP, that should be enough damage done by the dead Kinguin players. Fox did a lot of damage there. And yeah, Rain will clean it up, so EFrag will go down to Kinguin's marginal buy. It was kind of a middle buy. I know Swedes love to call it like low buys when you have like Famous and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call that one a middle buy. Low buy sounds really weird. I guess low economy.
Low econ buy, yeah.
Low economy buy, I suppose it makes more sense. But all right, so.
Oh, wow. Still have enough money though.
Oh, look at this! 3 players switching up. It's an absolute crazy trade fest. We've got Maikelele picking up 2, so that's gone very well there. 2 for 1, Rain being the one.
And we saw that for I think it was SK, predominantly. Like when they started playing more people on the inner bomb side, pushing aggressively to get map control and that type of thing, that started giving them rounds. So maybe that's something that Kinguin is trying out. And now looks pretty nice and tidy for Kinguin here. 2 rounds in a row where they survive with quite a few members.
Yep.
So upward trajectory for them. For the last round, even EFrag is going to be pretty pressed for money. You can see Bubbles sitting on 2,300, spyleadeR on 1,900. But I guess the way the EFrag run started was with an eco run like this.
Absolutely. They have they pack a good punch on some of these concentrated pushes.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Dreamer.
Dennis? Is he going aggressive? Yeah, he is.
Uh-oh. 2 frags here for EFrag. And they are moving up alley now. They've cleaned out a lot of space. Oh, that's a beautiful pickup there from spyleadeR with the CZ. That's going to open up... That electric box position was so important. Viktor's going to be able to take down Rain as well. That was an excellent couple kills there from Viktor in the end. So just as you mentioned, well, they really did pack that punch, and we're going to have a pretty interesting situation. 9-6 on the hands of... Well, EFrag, they're looking like they're quite well positioned with a strong pistol round to take Kinguin out fairly convincingly on their own map.
Let's see though, and if EFrag can have a consistent CT half as well, because we've kind of come to expect that their T-side are going to be pretty efficient and very solid.
Bubble spotted. He spotted a lot of action here, but in comes Mikail from the other side. He's going to keep challenging, and he'll go down. More crossfires. Viktor with the 1-tap. There are more taps to be found as 2 players are taken out by Viktor, but Scream is alive, and he's taking everybody out here. It's just Dreamer who's left alive. And there he goes, just pumping in those bullets, but he's running out of bullets to fire, and Maikelele is going to finish him off. So battle of the aimers, really. And, well, Scream is probably considered one of the best on the server, and it's a pretty tall order to have that title on the server filled with these players. So Kinguin keep themselves in the running here with a good start on the second half. But oh, I love this from EFrag. They're going for a P250 eco. Brilliant!
What is this? What world are we living in?
This is brilliant.
This is something you don't see from EFrag a whole lot.
I like it.
Yeah, I definitely like it. They kind of realized the fact that, well, CT side, I guess they figured out with the way how, they played versus Kinguin's force buys. It's not that hard to deal with on a map like Train. If you just kind of sit it out and play the long distances. So they figured, better to hedge their bets on a later round, and I'm happy to see that, because we've seen far too many times EFrag getting into that trap where they just force buy.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting situation, and of course, with the P250 eco, it forces them the option to buy next round if they want to get the FAMAS out there. But
I would prefer to see another clean eco.
Another P250 eco would be fantastic. The P250 eco is the most cost-efficient way to do a very, very strong eco, basically. Big economic play. Because it's $300, but the ability to just one-shot people from close ranges gives you so much cost efficiency, and considering you're thinking about your economy, that's what this statement is as well. And NKL buying the single HE, I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of that, but if he's got a really sick timing for it, then okay.
If they're stacking up for something and that's kind of their go signal, then I'm okay with it.
So here we go, we'll have the pistols rattling off. They've got a single kill. There's the second one from Viktor's CZ. And a P90's been found, so he'll take that into another kill. And Maikelele will finish off spyleadeR. So 3 kills out of that. That's really respectable, considering
This is very good.
They didn't put much into that, and now they've looked after their own economy, and they're probably one of the better teams with the 4 rifle setups.
Yeah, they don't really utilize the op that much. I mean, we've seen Bobo pick it up from time to time, but he's perfectly fine going with a Colt instead, or just an AK. On Kinguin's side, though, not surprisingly, they have the op out on Maikelele. So that is, potentially a big upside for Kinguin, and in terms of finding those opening picks.
Absolutely.
A very aggressive push early on from Kinguin towards the inner bomb side, and it looks like they're setting up with a similar strat that we saw Hellrage just pull towards the inner bomb side.
But EFrag, they have 2 players in the perfect position. If they just hold the middle of the yard and they allow the teammates to rotate safely through connector, this should be a win for them if they hit the shots. Good position on spyleadeR. He's ready to receive this push. He's actually moved quite deep in. He's going to try to go take multiple players. I guess a double. There's more players to be found. Dennis will eliminate him, but Dreamer's going to take the Q to go straight through. And Viktor in the chaos picks up one as well. Bubble comes in, and that was perfect there from EFrag. That was a stunning hold, and Kinguin are going to feel very rattled by such a strong defense.
Yeah, and I think we heard, you know, after spyleadeR picks up that first strike, we could hear an op shot go off that connected with nothing, and I think that was Maikelele missing his shot at kind of saving the round or bringing it back into Kinguin's favor. Because if he picks up spyleadeR there, then obviously they can get control over the bomb site, they can get a bomb plant, that type of thing. So that was a big shot to miss. Now it's back to eco for Kinguin, and ooh, nice opening frag from Rain.
It will definitely allow them to get a quick entry and a quick plant into the B-bomb site. But again, this is any kills off the back of this essentially is a bonus. I don't think they ever expect to win this one, but Rain on an M4 can make some damage happen. He does already get a kill.
And the more time they stay alive here for Kinguin, it allows for the the lurker for Kinguin to actually come in and play a big part here.
They can win this round now. As Dennis in that position
is
very dangerous indeed. And oh my goodness, Dennis will pick up the kill, and they know where he is. That was a very brave thing to go for. Is he going to knife? What is going on? Oh, oh no! Oh, that, what? This is, I don't, what? Oh god.
Oh boy.
How do you commentate that? Please explain.
There's not much to explain right there. That's
that's such a weird situation. Because he didn't. I'm sure he had ample time to reload, but I guess he's the only player left alive, so he's like, I can't reload here.
Yeah, because he feels. Like, if he thinks the E5 player, I think it was NKL, has actually committed to the defuse, he just needs to clear him out as quickly as possible. So that, you know, 1.5 seconds you spend on reloading, that's way too much time to give up.
Yeah, that's the point. It's kind of a weird situation, but it looked kind of nuts. So, spyleadeR, you can see him here supporting his teammates on the upper side, but it's not really about him. It's about Viktor, and who is with Viktor at the moment, just pushing white walls. The toilets, they're going to actually clear out.
I think it's
top
Viktor
of
and
Pop
Dreamer,
Dog.
yeah.
That is ridiculous. No, no way. He's going to spot one player for free. Dennis goes down. He never knew what hit him. And now Kinguin are scrambling because their entire play has been discovered. And it's looking like eFrag are trying to foil it straight away. But here it is. Bubble going for the defense. The spray. Oh, last bullet. Last bullet. And that's the end.
That's the bomb as well. That's the bomb being dropped. I have no idea why they wanted to get the bomb towards the backline in any sort of situation, but that's where it's finding itself.
Viktor using the ladder for info plays. I think he just spotted. Ah, there it is.
Oh, there he knows.
There it is. Info has been gathered. But Maikelele, he is quite a monster with the flicks and the clutches. Let's have a look. You can see if you can pull this one out of the bag. Going to go through, jumping out the smoke with that AWP in hand. Viktor's going to follow him, and he's going to get the flick. And he might just decide to pick up the AWP. In fact, he decides not to. And this is very classic of eFrag. Because that's a spot that most teams will be like, oh, sure, this is a cool opportunity to AWP. We didn't spend the money to do it, so why not grab an AWP?
But they feel so confident in just playing it out with rifles, and it's one of the very few. I can't actually, off the top of my head, can't think of any team that prefers playing without ops, or at least
maybe
one op.
Sometimes Virtus.pro.
Yeah,
they're the highest profile team at the best at it.
Yeah, probably the closest one. But still, they even go to a double op setup with Neo and Pasha, like that type of thing.
You can really see eFrag, the fact that one of the reasons they become so dangerous to tier 1 teams, despite themselves being a top tier 2 team, is that individual skill is actually on point on a lot of these players.
Oh yeah.
Which is why
then they couple it with amazing T-play.
Yep. The Kinguin are looking to try to save this though. They are behind a few rounds, but they're picking up a nice series of kills. Really good opener again from Fox and Rain. These guys have been delivering. I always loved watching Fox actually playing with the AWP especially. Sometimes he has these just godlike moments, but he hasn't really been relying on it, and he's been developing much more as a rifler in this team, considering that they've got Dennis and Maikelele as well, who can AWP with the best of them. So, especially, I really like Dennis's AWPing style. I think it's a bit more consistent than Maikelele's.
Oh yeah, I would say so. I think Dennis's AWPing style is probably closer to Olaf.
Yes, yeah, and being in the old LGB as well. Actually with Maikelele, of course. But anyway, I digress. We have the eco being cleaned up here by Kinguin. It's a very nice pickup. Is he going to get... Okay, no.
He's dinking everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody's almost dying. So Viktor's going to reap the rewards of NKL's hard work.
Yeah, very scary stuff there. And you can see Fox just pretty much hightailing it out of there, being like, guys, can you just deal with this for me, please? I'm very
Finish this off.
So Kinguin, they have managed to close the gap, but this is the real crux of the issue. It's whether or not Kinguin can get themselves over this hump break E-frag again, force another eco, and land themselves on that 13-12. That's the point where Kinguin can start really ascending to towards a potential map win. But equally, E-frag, they've got to get it done with a lack of grenades here and lack of weaponry. They're going for the push again.
Well, this time Kinguin does have people around waiting for it. Even trade so far? And there we go. Advantage Kinguin. So that was a very nice response. And it seems like they were aware of that potential push coming in from E-frag.
Yeah, they have been having to deal with that previously. So it's one of those situations where you would expect adaptation, and we saw it, which is good. I think we saw it in the previous match. There were spots where Angel was taking liberties, and they never quite adapted to it. Yeah. Yeah. So either way, Kinguin looked to be cleaning this one up. So we are expecting an eco round coming up now as we see the body drop from the top.
What I'm going to be interested to see is whether or not E-frag decide to go for a double eco or not. Because it's not like they should be very stressed out if they're in a situation where they can have a really good buy and it's 12-3 in favor of Kinguin. I think that's perfectly fine because they are on the CT side. But I wouldn't put it past E-frag to be like, well, we're going to eco one round and then we're just going to buy up with FAMAS and get a very similar buy to what they had this round, which didn't work out at all. Yeah,
it's been quite a turn, hasn't it, as well, because E-frag were looking fairly dominant, to be honest.
Yeah.
And now it's all about this Kinguin offense. What do you think is the hardest thing to deal with? Is it just the individual skill, or is there like an innate level of unpredictability that's harder to manage?
I think it's the combination of the two that just makes it really awkward. Like it's hard to feel secure when you play a team like Kinguin, right? Because they have the individual players to allow them to do random stuff that you're not supposed to expect. And they can get away with it.
Yeah, that's the key fact. So they get away with it, and that can be that's really infuriating. If you're a team that's not at the right mindset, or players that's not at the right mindset, that's actually a thing you have to learn to deal with. And a lot of players hide behind their egos in some spot where it's like, well, he shouldn't have done that. That's random. You know, that was a stupid play.
I think everyone does that
because he's the worst player.
Yeah, but I think everyone does that from time to time.
So
like that only worked because it was dumb.
Because he's worse than me.
Yeah,
which is actually amazing.
Seems like you're a direct quote from Rattlesnake, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
There's probably videos of him saying that exact thing.
But that's something I think every single player goes through that phase, and everyone learns to deal with it in different ways. Some people never really deal with it, but they just get
manage to shrug it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
They manage to shrug it off. Like they can still bitch about it, but they're still able to contribute.
Yeah.
And, you know, they don't get phased out by. Yeah, they don't get put out of the game. They don't solely focus on the thing that other players are doing weird things against them. They still manage to get back into it.
Yep.
Right now, well, it's going to be the buy. It's not the greatest buy on E-frag's end, but they do have, I guess, the most essential nades that they need. They have a ton of smokes, 2 mollies, and a couple of flashes, so it should be enough to bolster up a decent defense.
Here we go. We have the push coming in through the smokes. Have been set upon the outside area.
Well, this is pretty cool.
Nice little passage
for
Maikelele to walk to try to get a sneaky pick, but that's not going to work out, and that's going to give the frag was so quick that it gives E-frag a lot of opportunity to start scratching their heads and being like, what was actually going on right now? Because Kinguin is still setting up.
Yeah, and they haven't rotated anyone away from that inner bomb set, and that Molotov is going to land perfectly.
Yeah, so Dreamer with a nice spray down there, and do we get a challenge through the smoke? That's the question. Or yeah, they leave it to Fox, who's on high, and fantastic little double there from Fox. He's very quick to the trigger, and that's going to even things up, 3 versus 3. But NKL straight out of the connector. Again, this is always the issue. The CTs, when they fire at the connector, they only have to just look at one area, which is the bomb site, more or less, and NKL's going to clean up both players, leaving Fox alone. And he's going to get naded, so
like 900 nades coming in there.
There's a really nice round from Fox, but it just was not enough. He was the only guy to actually contribute frags to that round.
But there you see the issue, you know, and we talked about this when we saw Train being played versus SK and Hellraisers as well. The fact that if you're not able to gain control over the inner bomb site, you just get bogged in, and it's so easy for the CDs to pick up speed and just roll over you, because you have to watch so many angles from really poor positions.
Yeah.
That it's nearly impossible to deal with.
The odds definitely drop significantly if you don't get connector control, and it's so hard to do that sometimes. And some teams I think get put into the full sense of security. Oh, get the bomb down, guys.
Oh, the random spray from spyleadeR.
God, that is really hard to deal with. Dennis is still on North though. There is hope for Kinguin yet.
And I mean, Fox has been hitting shots so far. So if he can open up the inner bomb site, that can force rotations. And as you can see on the minimap, the bomb is all the way over in alley. So if Fox is able to create some sort of a rotation for eFrag, that could be really good for them. But what happened?
The flash was perfect, but I think a little bit too perfect because everybody got flashed. I think was the issue, and it looks like they're starting to drop one by one, and they're looking for the alley push, but they haven't really created space in anywhere, to be honest. And this is looking like a really good setup, really good hold, and I think it all does stem from Maikelele going down at T main because he was the main player there. He was the only one there, and by the fact that he went down, you need a player there or in Popdog. We saw that Popdog was held onto quite well.
Popdog was doing stuff.
Space. They have to make space for the guys to get out alley, and we didn't see that happening. So now eFrag 14-13.
Yeah, and this is this is a big round for Kinguin as well. They're starting to run dry on money. Scream being the only guy having any sort of bank left.
It is always cool to just look at the Kinguin roster. It's like, okay, Fox, yeah, he's really good. So
Dennis is really good.
Rain, okay. The Scream, oh my god. Okay, this is getting kind of crazy now. The amount of aim on this team is a little bit too crazy. But at the same time, eFrag, they are looking pretty solid at the moment. Another push coming down Popdog. This time we get a better result for Kinguin. We get the trade, which is good.
Yeah. It still looked like the execution of it was really weird because it looked like Rain just wanted to spot out what was going on there and go up, and then he had Scream sitting on his head. He was like, okay, I guess I'll go down.
Okay. 4 versus 4, and they're trying to take control of this inner side.
Not that many nades, though. They've got 2 smokes and a molly, so they could potentially block off a couple of lanes here on the inner bomb side, but spyleadeR's in a really good position.
That's what killed them last time, and they'll get a much better series of... they'll get a much better trade this time, 1-for-1 instead of him getting 2 frags. So another 2-on-2 situation. This is now throwing out the usual rulebook, out of the window about controlling connector. We've got a good position there for Maikelele. He's going to take down Bubble. Great smoke. Viktor's left alive. And he's going to be finding himself the first kill. That's excellent work there. What a long-range shot by Viktor. He's going to find the last player. Oh my goodness, as well. He gets it through the train. And he's going to have more than enough time for the defuse. That was crazy. Viktor picks that 2 versus 1 up. And he is going to find himself match point for his team. eFrag have really swung this one back. Yeah,
and good for Kinguin though, getting the bomb plant down. That means that they can actually get quite a few weapons. You can see Scream dropping 2 AKs. So they're going to get a decent buy. But if you look at eFrag's side, they have every nade in the book.
Yeah.
At least every nade that matters, because decoys are dumb. They are though.
Man, why be hating decoys? God, why could be hating? Stop hating.
I'm a hater. I've been drinking haterade.
Okay, so it's just a pretty slow round at the moment, but it looks like Kinguin are putting their setup in for that split onto A. They've got 2 players in alley, 2.
This time it's Dennis to kind of just walk out, and the passage that they've created for themselves. He's, not going to find a frag either.
Yeah, this is looking better and better for eFrag here, as we have just 3 players left for Kinguin, and they are falling pretty fast. They're trying to get onto the bomb site, but there's been so much damage done at this point. It's very, very hard. Fox has got so much to do. Great little spot there onto Viktor, and he goes for the shots onto the following players on the site. Now Dreamer's in a clutch situation. He's picked up the Molotov kill onto the Scream. He's in a 1-on-1 against Fox, who's trying to get that bomb planted, but he doesn't have the bomb. And Dreamer, I think, is aware of that.
How is the bomb that far away?
It's kind of crazy, I know.
This is similar to what...
Oh my god.
It doesn't really matter, but...
Execution style.
Yeah.
Wow.
Impressive from eFrag.
Yeah, that's really... I was really worried about their position. Their position was really awkward. They had a very crazily horrible, just generally horrendous position on the money, where they had to get a bunch of FAMAS out, and they had to more or less let Kinguin take the lead, almost into winning the map, but then they somehow brought it back together again. It's with a lot of crazy smoke kills, just really hot defenses from spyleadeR on the B, on the inner side and so on. So yeah, and some clutches as well that we saw coming in from Viktor, that 1-on-2. So they were really clutch to actually win that map.
Yeah, and I guess it follows the trends that SK started, picking up your opponent's map at the at the beginning of the game. So now going into Mirage, I'm really scared for Kinguin, but we saw Hellraiser just turn it around. So I guess we shouldn't count Kinguin out either.
Yeah, Kinguin is obviously very scary. No matter what you're doing, they're going to be scary. Again, we just go through the list of players. It's just always very scary. It's like when Simple was on FlipSide. You're playing against FlipSide. Okay, it's FlipSide. Maybe you can't speak so much for the team, but some of the players on that team will just completely just win rounds by themselves. So always got to be very careful about that. So close one, as you can see, 16-13. We are going to go to the second map, but first we'll take a quick break and then we'll be back with Mirage.